திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். Saint Enathi Natha Nayanar. I am the servants of Enathi Natha. Enathi Nathanta Nadiyarkum Adiye. In ancient days, fighting was a profession, and soldiers and generals of the army under the local rulers were recruited from the members of that profession. There were regular schools of soldiery where capable warriors trained aspiring youths in the art of swordcraft and warfare. One such school was conducted by Enathi Natha, commander-in-chief. Many pupils were in training under him and they paid him reasonable tuition fees. Enathi Natha was a deeply religious man. He loved God Shiva and was very attached to Shiva's symbols, especially the sacred ash. He utilized all his earnings for the serving of Shiva's followers and the devotees of the sacred ash. There was another soldier in the same place by name Atisura, very valiant, who was also running a similar school. He was a very vain fellow, always jealous of the repute of Enathi, whose school was quite a flourishing, popular concern, while his school was failing and his fees were dwindling. One day, he decided to fight it out with Enathi. So, he went to his house with his men and challenged him to battle. The adherents of the two leaders met in battle on an open ground nearby. Enathi, by his personal valor, routed out Atisura and his forces. Atisura ran home from the battlefield, thoroughly beaten. But his jealousy was not beaten, and so he began to scheme. He knew of Enathi's devotion to the sacred ash and decided to get the better of him by exploiting this trait. The next morning, he sent word for Enathi that he was prepared to meet him in a single combat. Not knowing Atisura's scheme, Enathi agreed and met him in combat. The wily rogue had covered his forehead profusely with sacred ash and concealing it behind his shield approached Enathi. There was a deadly duel and, as expected, Enathi was getting the better of the other. His sword was lifted high in a final deadly sweep. Atisura saw this and craftily lowered his shield at that moment, uncovering his ash-smeared face to the advancing fighter. Enathi saw the face, saw the ash, and a terrible convulsion shook him. What a sinner am I! I am fighting with the devotee of Shiva. I shall no longer offer fight. I shall submit myself to the will of this devotee. Thinking in this manner, within a fract of a second, Enathi offered no more fight or resistance and was about to drop his sword and shield when another thought struck him. Atisura now appeared to Enathi as a religious man, so it was the duty of Enathi to see that no fault attached to him on Enathi's account. He thought, if I drop my sword, this religious man will no doubt kill me, but the sin of attacking an unarmed man will be on him. I shall not allow this to happen. I shall be armed, but shall not offer fight. So thinking, Enathi was just holding his sword and shield when his foe struck him down dead. Because of this noble thought and of his devotion to Lord Shiva and the symbol, which ended in his own death, Enathi's soul came to the eternal peace at the feet of Lord Shiva. It is always said, the prophet of Nazareth enjoined men to show the foe the right cheek, also if they are smitten on the left. Here we find Enathi doing something even more subtle. He was anxious that the smitter should not be guilty of violating the laws of fighting, he practiced non-violence not only in deed but even in thought. Let us pay our obeisance to Saint Enathi Nayanar and seek his blessings. Tiruchitrambalam.